Alright, Red Sox fans, how we all doing? I'm Bobby Gaines, and as you know, I've been talking a good amount of Celtics in the past few months. Well, maybe not a good amount, but a little bit. But I haven't really been talking any Red Sox, and why is that? Well, there's not really much to talk about. This is actually a direct response to a user, a subscriber of mine, Sandro, who had asked me, going back to my old days when I'd get really angry if the Red Sox are bad or really happy if they're good, why haven't you made a video this year? Well, they just haven't given me a reason to. This team is so bland. They're disappointing, but not to the point of anger. They're not good enough. They're not really in contention. They're kind of in contention because of the second wild card, but there's nothing about them that really gets me up or down one way or the other. I don't even know their record. I think they're like 4 or 5 games over 500. They had been 10 games over 500, and then they took 3 or 4 from the Yankees, and then after that they lost like 8 in a row and pretty much disqualified themselves. So I wasn't even like disappointed. I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, they're not even competitive with the Yankees. Like, it's not like they're losing these games 3-2. Like, I mean, they're getting smoked. They lost 4 straight at Yankee Stadium. None of the games are good. It was just boring. I mean, the starters stink. The bullpen stinks. The lineup is actually really good. And it's like this team it just baffles me how they can bring back the same roster so many times and get so many different results. A couple years ago, they won 93 games with a worse lineup than this. But I don't know. It is what it is. Chris Sale just hasn't been Chris Sale this year. David Price was pretty good. Recently hasn't been that great. Now he's on the IL. Who knows if he's going to even come back, if it's even worth it. And like I said, I could still see this team slipping into the playoffs somehow. I think they're like five or six back at the second wild card, which isn't impossible to make up at this point in the season. I mean, look at the Mets. The Mets just went on this huge run. Now they're right there. And actually, as sort of a Mets fan myself, I'll probably be rooting for them because they're a more inspiring story than the Red Sox. The Red Sox just came out of the chute just terrible. So I really, from like April on, I had no reason to really watch them. It was a struggle just to get to 500. Even the games that they win, they barely win because of their bullpen. And, I mean, you don't need to look any further than the fact that they didn't add any bullpen arms at the deadline. Like, that was their big need. Maybe one of their only needs as far as just how to solidify the team, like an obvious one, would have been to get a setup guy or something. But they didn't get anybody. They have no closer, basically. They have, like, Evaldi was supposed to be the closer. He could barely pitch. They've had, Matt Barnes been the closer. Workman's been the closer. It doesn't really matter. They've got like 20-something blown saves. I'm surprised they were even winning 20 games that they lost. So, to answer the question, why haven't I really made a video? That's why. I'm not even really following the Red Sox. I know they lost last night, and then they won before that or something. I don't know. They've got a really good offense, and that's the shame of it, is that, Devers is having a career year. Betts has been a little down, but Xander Bogaerts is having his best season. And, they've got a good lineup. They've got a young lineup. JD Martinez, while he hasn't been as good as last year, has been solid in the middle of the order. Benintendi's had a couple stretches where he's really lifted the team. Even Bradley, he started really bad, but he's gotten decent lately hitting. Christian Vasquez, I don't think anybody expected him to have 15 home runs for like a whole season, let alone now. So, I mean, they've gotten contributions from the lineup. That's not the problem. They've scored, 10 runs in a game many times. I mean, they're probably going to finish out of the playoffs and yet be one of the top offenses in baseball. So, again, if they make the playoffs, I don't really expect much. I expect they'll lose the one-game playoff. If they play the Yankees at any point, they're screwed. If they play the Astros, they're probably screwed. I don't really see the Astros enough to know. But when I see the Yankees, it doesn't matter because even though the Yankees pitching isn't that good, the Red Sox pitching is worse. And they usually lose those games 10-5. So, again, not really expecting much from the Red Sox, not really getting much. Disappointing start, disappointing middle, and probably a disappointing finish to a 2019 season after winning 108 games. So, whatever. That's my take on the Red Sox. So, enjoy the rest of the season. I'll still watch to see the postseason, but, let's go Sox, I guess.